Oh, hey, you showed up. Just let me set these down. Hey everyone, this is your girl Megan, and I'm starting my summer initiative. You know, like something that you do over the summer for a set goal. I decided that I would read a book a week through the rest of the summer, and each week do a little video and tell you if it's something I think you should put at the top of your list. Some of them are going to be amazing, of course, and some of them not so great. That's where I come in. I'll make all the decisions for you. So, the very first book that we're going to be reviewing is 50 Shades of Grey. And I know, girls, like, you want to shriek at the top of your lungs right now, but it's a good one. I promise. You're going to love this. Before we start the review, let's do a little should not read these if you have these conditions. 1. If you're easily embarrassed, as in you have the control to giggle every time you read something that no one should write, this book is not for you. 2. If you think there could be a possible chance, just the slightest little bit, that you may be into submissive, we will say, type relationships, this may put you over the edge just a little. And by a little, I mean like a hell of a lot. So don't read it if you're questioning things of that nature about yourself. And 3, pretty much don't read this if you just can't deal with sex type books. Because, I mean, let's face it, that's what 90% of this book is. Had I known that, I probably would have thought twice before just, I'd like to buy this amazing book, please. Because now I realize I should have been highly embarrassed. So let me start with the fact that I had no clue what this book was about. In fact, I have just seen her going on and on all these talk shows and everybody, oh my gosh, you have to read this book. And so I just bought it. And had I known what this book was about, I just would have been mortified walking up to the cash register to purchase it. I mean, I even now think about it, I'm sure like my cheeks are bright red because I'm pretty embarrassed about it. But after buying the first one, I had absolutely no problem going back and buying the other 2. This book, 50 Shades of Grey, starts off with the character Anastasia Steele. And Anastasia is very much what I consider for tryhards a normal Bella. She's kind of awkward. She doesn't realize she's pretty. She's smart. And all the boys seem to find her attractive and hit on her, but she's just completely oblivious to any of that around her, which is very Bella to me. And in fact, I consider this whole book to be an adult Twilight type thing, which I know people who are not Twihards will leave comments saying that I'm a moron, and that's okay, because I probably am. So, with that said, Anastasia is rooming with her friend, and she gets very sick, and of course her friend is all into school and all that good stuff, and is sick and cannot interview this multi-billion-dollar bachelor in Seattle for the school graduating paper. So Anastasia goes in, she meets Christian Grey, who is this gorgeous billionaire, very aloof, sexy man, has everything in the world, and he falls for this girl, Anastasia. Now, that is about the time that you realize that there are 50 Shades of Grey, because this guy is messed up. Like, whoa, kind of messed up. And that's when the uncontrollable giggling starts. No. That is so wrong. Oh my God. So we learn that Christian is very into sex. And not just kind of into sex. It has a red room of pain type sex. And it's very detailed. It's a little over the top. So if you're not into that kind of thing, don't even think about starting this book. But I promise you, if you do, it'll be your favorite dirty, pleasure, guilty thing that you'll do. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. But back to it, he has this non-disclosure act that he takes in with this girl, and he buys her all these clothes and a new car, and I have fun. have very adult fun in very, very adult ways, and in ways that I didn't even know existed. So there were quite a few times that I was picking up my phone, looking up something that I didn't even know what it was. Oh my god. I don't even know what that means. Okay. What is vlogging? That's not right. No, that's wrong. That's so wrong. And then when I did find out what it was, I was kind of scared, a little intrigued, but mostly scared. And you go into this book and then you realize, holy shit, it's amazing. As in all kind of crazy amazing, and it's worth every second of your time. I promise you, you'll love it. They fall in love, they break up, she doesn't want to be his sex slave, he wants her to be his sex slave, he wants to cane her to death, and pretty much all kind of different things that, being who I am, I get very embarrassed talking about, so you're just going to take my word and read it. Now, there's been talk about this book possibly going into a TV show because it's way too X-rated to ever be a movie. So, with that said, I think HBO could easily pick this up. I mean, we have True Blood and Spartacus, which is over the top with the sex slave type thing, and I think that they would do wonders with this book and could easily turn it into a series. Very easily. So, my question for this book is, if Christian was to be played by somebody, who do you think it would be? When I'm reading this, I see a very, not Rob Pattinson, not in the least little bit, but he is like described as having that coiffed hair and this gorgeous sculpted jaw. And if you watch Chuck, which was one of my favorite shows, Zachary Levi, there's a character on there named Bryce Larkin, and the guy would be perfect to play him. I can't help but picture him as Christian Grey when I read the book. And in fact, here's like a picture of him. He would be perfect as Christian Grey. So, leave me a comment. Tell me if you loved the book, if you giggled as much as I did, and if it's your new favorite guilty pleasure like me. So, make sure you come back next week when I'm going to be reviewing 50 Shades Darker, which is the sequel to 50 Shades of Grey, and I promise it's going to be just as rowdy and awesome as the first one. Until then, laters, baby.